Hi guys, welcome back to Power and Poise. I know our episode's a little late. This is happening in real time, okay? But we are here because getting our power back, right? Let's start it off this way, okay? Understanding that you want to be poised and you want to be perceived differently is how you get your power back, because then you learn to know that it has always been within you, okay? And it has just been a series of unfortunate events, Miss Girl, or Mr. Boy, that led you to get to this point. So if you are interested in hearing my real life thoughts on our summer lock-in series, please continue listening. I do want to preference that I have been extremely overwhelmed with just post-grad, and I literally feel like I'm going to keep saying this every episode until I get myself back on track. I had zero clue how intense this was going to be. And I think argumentatively, which will lead us into our topic, argumentatively, if I knew how challenging it was, I don't think I would have done the podcast at this time in my life. But I think at the same time, this is a testament of God, spirit, universe is going to push you in a direction to help strengthen you. Although I am, struggling, I haven't been posting much on the main page or on the TikTok. However, it's still very much there. There's still a lot of information there, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I still am learning throughout the way, and I'm consciously aware of, okay, what I need to do. It's just a mere matter of doing it. So I don't know about y'all, but I'd rather know that I gotta do something or what I need to do rather than having no clue of it at all. So that's just how I feel about it. But, it's gonna be what it is. I do need to just simply recruit my brother to help me with marketing. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I have an extremely hard time outsourcing, which is why I loved having Monet on, because to have a powerful black woman owning a business where that is what she's doing, I don't think we're even seeing how crazy and impactful that is. When being African American, you feel like you have to work 2 times harder. You have to do this. You have to do everything on your own. So I appreciate all my episodes, but if we're talking about what I just commented on, that's one reason why I appreciate that episode. So let's get into social frames, right? We're talking about summer. We talking about summer lock-in. We talking about what we need to do for this summer. We're talking about who we want to be for this summer, right? And we're trying to figure out how we can get locked in. We're literally kind of 2.5 months away. If you want to say June, kind of borderlining 3. So, this is the perfect time to get your ducks in a row and get a line. Last episode, we talked about clothes. Now, one thing I did leave out about clothes, which is going to sound funny, but your drawers. I feel like I can't even be serious when I say that, because sometimes, y'all, I forget that this literally goes on the internet, that this isn't leaving, but I don't really say crazy things, so whatever. But all jokes aside, your drawers, your undergarments, besides shapewear, understanding you need to get fitted for a bra. You need to, okay, maybe you were medium in bottoms a few years ago, but maybe you're not that anymore. These are little things, and I can't share the story that my friend shared with me because I just don't want it to cause something. But people notice if your undergarments aren't fitting you properly. And I'm going to leave it at that. So just make sure that you are wearing proper undergarments. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to keep it a buck. I know sometimes as women, we want to be comfortable, blah, blah, blah. But all occasions don't account for being comfortable. Even with me, I was stressed out, I was burnt out, I was looking a mess. I was not looking like what we look like right now. And my friend was like, you literally look unrecognizable. I said, and that's a problem. We will never get to that again. As a woman, you are held to a different standard. Even with me not having my nails done, I'm I need to go get my nails done. It's little things like that. It could feel tedious, but you have to understand that's going to trail us into social frames and talk about this episode of the Summer Lock-In. You have to understand, as a woman, if you're going to want specific treatment and you're going to want to be received a certain way, you just have to show up a certain way. And I think even beyond wanting to be treated a certain way, who are you? What are your morals? Who do you think you are? What do you align with? What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? How do you want to be perceived? Like, not even in the sense of like gaining validation from people, but like, you know, we're evolving. We're becoming young women. Like, the teenage stuff, we can get away with certain things. We can let it slide. But, you know, emerging into being a young woman, for anyone who's listening, who's in college and even in high school, you know, transitioning to being a young woman, you unconsciously and you unknowingly now you have a certain set of standards on you that, beknownst to you, you didn't even know what's put on you. You literally had no clue. Like, you literally ain't know that people looking at you like a grown adult now. But with that being said, you have to align yourself with that way and understand that things are going to change. You may not be able to shop at Pink no more. And it's no shade. It's no shade, okay? I'm not saying we can't shop at Pink, but I'm saying, you know, I mean, I don't even really think there's a store that you can or cannot shop in as you evolve, but hopefully you guys, because at the end of the day, there's a difference between Pink and Victoria's Secret. And when you are shopping at Pink, you don't realize you're shopping at Pink. You're thinking, oh, I'm shopping at Victoria's Secret, until you mature or you slide over to Victoria's Secret one day and you see the Victoria's Secret prices. You're like, oh, these are two different areas. And I say that to say, I was joking. You can shop at Pink. Not saying you cannot if you're a certain age. Just saying you have to, if you need a visual of this episode, think about Victoria's Secret's Pink and Victoria's Secret. We are starting to evolve into Victoria's Secret. You see, Pink is not selling the lingerie or the nightwear that Victoria's Secret sells. And then you see Victoria's Secret is not selling some of the active wear or clothing items Pink is wearing. Pink is selling. Why? Because these are two different demographic and two different paths, but they're owned by the same person. I don't even think I understand how I cooked with that, okay? I don't even think I understand what that metaphor I just gave. I'm going to say that again. Owned by the same person, but these are two different demographics for two different types of people. Two different eras. That's what it is. Two different eras. And it's okay, but we need to start to evolve to Victoria's Secret and understand what that means, understand what that even looks like. So let's dive into social frames. This is derived by yours truly. This came from my Patreon. If you are not subscribed to my Patreon, I need everyone who's listening at this point to subscribe, right? I really think for myself, if I'm having a moment of transparency, I need that accountability. So I want to start incorporating Patreon with like weekly check-ins, weekly calls. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck. I do have a paid side where that's where I would want to do that at, but I have no issue starting off on the free side doing that because before we get into the Patreon post, I don't really have any means. I don't want to say means. I don't have any intention of ever like going strictly to a paywall, like for a very, very long time. And even when I do go to a paywall, I want that to be additional things. Like I'm very big on still wanting my items to be accessible to everyone. Like if you want more and you want to pay for more, cool, but I'm not having that be a pay thing. So like also don't kind of turn a face to the Patreon, the $5 a month, because what I want to do in that is include it in your $5 a month. I'd provide you with a self-care journal, digital planner that I have already created, some workshops, some videos, some journaling prompts, etc. So like you're paying $5 a month for like actionable steps. So that's why I want to shift over to Patreon with certain things, because I think even for myself, I want to start putting that practice in and start doing that. So that's that. let's slide into the post. So just for a little peeksies of what I have on my Patreon already, I think I just really only have 2 posts. I'm gonna try to make another post by the end of this week. We're not even getting into that. So, social frames in real life. So this is a quote. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm gonna insert it here. You're not pretty like her. You're pretty like you. You know, there's this thing about the woman across the room. You see the woman across the room. You think she's so poised. She's so together. But she looks at you, and you are the woman across the room for her. Diane von Furstenberg. Why do we only remember the bad? Why, when we get 10 compliments, we only remember the negative remark? Why can't we remember the time someone called us beautiful? And this was so powerful to me. What I said in this post is, first of all, we have to understand a social frame, right? Like, what is a social frame? The analogy I use is, think of a film strip, right? So you have your little pictures inside the film, and once you put it together, it creates a movie, right? And that's how we got film. This is how we evolved to movies. This is what's happening in real time with my phone, but it's moving at a faster pace. And as humans, every action, interaction, and experience is a different frame, which allows us to make judgments on situations, create a movie. But we have to remember that this is based on perception and our subjective state of mind. So understanding that, let's recap that. And I said, with that being said, hey from across the room, because you are that woman for me. I could be that woman for you. You could be that woman for someone you never met. You could be that woman for someone else. So many things, right? But let's reread this back. What is a social frame? Think of this as a film strip with different frames. Once put together in a fast motion, they tell a story, i.e., create a movie. As humans, with every action, interaction, and experience is a different frame within the strip, which then allows us to make judgments of the situation, create a movie. But we have to remember, this is based on mere perception and our subjective state of mind. How does this tie in with summer lock-in? We are going to have those moments in the summer where maybe you just got started with your fitness plan. Maybe you just got started with your mindset work. Maybe you are a little late financially to some things you want. And you're going to have those moments of comparison. You're going to have those moments of feeling like, who's that person across the room? You're going to have those moments where these social frames are going in your mind, and because you have this idolized version of success, and this is what it looks like, because you're not matching that means of success, you begin to put yourself in a negative frame, which is why I like the why do we only remember the bad? Because if you think about a film strip, right? Depending on the film strip that you're using or the camera, etc., you can have between 8 frames, 10 frames, 20 frames, or 2. Now imagine if you have a frame strip just filled with negativity, right? If you have a frame strip that is legit just trauma after trauma after trauma, instantly, when you're seeing someone in your reality, this is how it turns back to that poem. I feel like I didn't catch that, but stay with me, y'all. This is how it turns back to the poem. In there, she had her social frame in this paragraph, in this poem, I like to call it, of what someone who was poised, she looked together, so she just must be the perfect woman. And she immediately put herself in this state of lowering herself because she felt that she didn't meet that idolized standard. However, beknownst to her, when the woman looked across the room, she was that woman. She was said woman. Because since we all have our own different perceptions and everything is subjective, I cannot say I can think she looks like she has some, let's put it into real terms. Somebody look at me and think I'm very wealthy, I'm very well off, etc. And I'm extremely blessed. I'm grateful for all I have, but half of my stuff, Amazon. Half of my stuff, work for. Half of my stuff, literally Instacart, you know what I mean? Kind of just hustling. But, someone could look at me and be like, oh my God, she looks very put together, or she's very poised. I don't even want to say poised, but, she's very well-spoken, or etc. Like, she must be this. But it's like, once again, beknownst to them. That's our word of the episode. Under all those layers, it's so much depth to it. It's so much going on. So another example of that would be just don't put this frame of success in such this pretty picture, or this vision of beauty, or this vision of wealth in such this pretty frame where when you see someone, you immediately categorize them as it, because you categorize them as it, but you take yourself out of that category. You don't know what people are going through. The only person across the room is me. I'm the woman across the room for myself. You know what I mean? So understanding that, I feel like I'm not hitting on the social frame aspect. I want to really sit on this. Yeah, I'm not hitting the social frame right now. So I'm going to side piece us to social frames. With social frames, our brain cognitively, right? In our brain, we have our parietal, our temporal, all of those fun places, right? That are giving our brain signals, beep, 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 triggered, not triggered, happy, sad. Oh, I don't know what this is. I don't know how to feel. What can I associate this with? This is neuroplasticity, is when your neurons are like basically building off of other ones, right? Neurons that fire together, wire together, is going to strengthen our neural pathways. So now imagine, let's say we got our film strip. Imagine you are a young child who has always been around maybe a mother figure that was always yelling, or a father figure that was always yelling, or two parents, let's say this one, two parents that were never home because they had to work. Your social frame immediately, unconsciously and unbeknownst to you, is going to, you might have a hard time receiving love and affection from someone, or receiving acceptable love, because you didn't have that experience when you were younger. So therefore, that framework, the way you're categorizing love, the way you're categorizing affection, the way you're categorizing how someone shows up for you, is already skewed, because your foundational image, your foundational frame was skewed and it wasn't idealistic. So now your frame could work in two ways in the real world. When you see someone who is just working, hustling, you might accept that behavior a bit more. Maybe they don't value you. Maybe you don't deserve that. Maybe deep outside you don't want that, but you're accepting it because it's normal. That is a normalcy to you. Or you could see the other way. You have someone who's like always in your face, always trying to love you, be touchy, and you're like, stop, get away, leave me alone. I want to be to myself. And you're immediately triggered. And what social frames does is, our brain is always trying to find shortcuts, right? So we can retain information better, we can answer things faster, and of course, store more information. So it's not the brain's fault. That's not the issue here. The issue is not how the brain is functioning, rather how we have been conditioned to function to our brain. Okay, we have been conditioned to just not train it. We've been conditioned to just live in this world and move like robots and just let things go through us and not be present and see what's happening and understand why things are happening the way they are. With that being said, since our brain is moving at such a fast pace, it is so objective. Our brain is, Our brain is so subjective. I always do that. Our brain is so subjective. It literally takes, it's subjective because it's our body, but it's objective in the sense that it takes everything at face value. So it's not understanding when that person is trying to give you love and affection that they actually really love you. It's literally going into fight or flight because they're like, this is uncomfortable to me. This feels weird. I've never had this. I don't know what to do. Like, this is weird. Rather, it's not processing like, oh, this person probably likes me and this is how they show love. Why are they doing that? Are they trying to manipulate me? This feels weird. This feels uncomfortable. Like, your brain is processing this to keep you safe. Our brain is such a beautiful safe haven that is literally our best friend if we know how to use it. And it's not easy to train your brain. It's not easy to regulate your emotions. It's not simple to do these things off rip if you're not taught at a young age. If you're not taught at a young age how to express your emotions, how to speak up for yourself, how to educate yourself, how to have a growth mindset over a fixed mindset. Many of us were not raised in a household with that mentality. Therefore, when you hear this stuff, you're like, girl, no, that person was being weird to me. I don't like when people touch me. Physical touch is not my love language. Or no, I don't like this at all because why are you in my face? Or yeah, that's normal. They need to have their own life. They don't need to talk to me all the time. I don't mind that they only text me at this time of the night or only text me on the weekends. I'm cool with that. That's fine. These are, as much as our brain is such a powerhouse and such our best friend, it is also such a safe haven for us. When we find these things that make us comfortable, we have to understand that 9 out of 10 times, if we're feeling comfortable with something, we're probably doing the wrong thing. We should be feeling uncomfortable. We should be feeling respectively overwhelmed. We should be always trying to figure out ways to grow and flow and find this harmony in our life, because just being linear and just having everything either being so comfortable or uncomfortable, that's not how you're going to flow. That's not how you're going to work in life. And why I really wanted to emphasize social frames is because beyond relationships, you even do this with yourself. What you're consuming with social media, what your family looks like, how do you view people? How do you view beauty? How do you view yourself? You make social frames of yourself. So this is where automation comes in, right? Because when you're automatically doing something, oh my God, I didn't even realize I got home. Oh my God, I don't even realize what I did on Monday. Oh my God, I so forgot I even booked that trip. Or, oh my, I forgot I ate that last night. Wow, I really woke up in the middle of the night and just ate a few snacks. Like it's so automatic because it's trying to make you feel safe. It's trying to make you feel comfortable. But where do you guys think that automation comes from? Just cracks and giggles? No, this comes from social frames. The automation relies on social frames. It relies on context of what is going on. It relies on your mental schema. It relies on these things in order to be an efficient, in air quotes, human being. Now, why I love the Pretty Like Her poem was because I think this was a perfect example of social frames, because this really, in such a concise manner, showed how such a negative perception of yourself or a positive one can literally lead you to a certain thing. The other woman across the room could think of herself so highly, right? And then see another woman that's put together or is just respectable of her, and it's like, she's pretty. Or we can interpret how the woman who wrote this part in her perspective, maybe she's going through something right now. Maybe she's not feeling her best and she's seeing someone who's an idealistic standpoint and say, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. Like, y'all getting that? I hope so. So yeah, this was posted. Wow, this was posted in March 2024. I didn't even peep that, but literally was right around the corner, y'all. Literally right around the corner. Like, literally made a year. But notes to me, I didn't even know I posted that in March. With that being said, how is Eva contributing to summer login? We are going to be in a lot of spaces and experiences this summer that are going to feel like the girl across the room, whether it's the good way, bad way, just curious way. You're just gonna naturally feel that. And I need us to go into summer understanding that. I hate to repeat myself, but the world is a mirror from within. Like, I still even had to tell myself that life's a mirror from within. So when you're going through your low points, that's a ding, 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 ding. Something's going on with you internally. If you're feeling extremely high vibes and you're feeling like everything is good, then okay, ding, 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 ding. Something great is going on with you. So understand that, as much as things can come off as a negative, or like when you feel low about yourself, or when you feel this, or when you feel that, it's also kind of a nice flag when you're consciously aware of like how you're really feeling inside and what you need to work on and what you have to do. So like, also don't take those moments as something that's gonna break you. Take them as moments that are like literally giving you like a ding, 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 ding. This is something you need to work on. Or like, hey, like, view me. We need to sit in this thought. We need to figure this out. We need to journal this out. We need to speak to our therapist about this. Because the more you ignore those bing, 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 bings, then you become in this heavy state. And the more you let those bings go by, the harder it's going to be to get out of them. And it's fair because we are not taught this, y'all. We are not taught this. We are not taught this. We are not taught this. Oh my God, like at all. But like I said with them Vickies, it is your responsibility to start easing yourself into that mentality and easing yourself into evolving and being that young woman, being that young man. So how does this, once again, I feel like I keep saying this, but we not get to the point. How is this with summer lock-in? I just want deep down inside, to the bottom of my core, for us all to just enjoy this summer. Don't let, if someone is maybe in your goal body, make you feel discouraged. Maybe if you didn't get the job opportunity you want, don't let that get you discouraged. Maybe your financial or household situation is not what you want it to be. Maybe there was just a goal that you wanted to reach by then and you just didn't reach it. And now you kind of just have unconsciously a negative look on summer, a negative look on life. So I just want us all to just go into summer understanding the world is our oyster, right? At any moment, you could switch that social frame. At any moment, I could be the girl across from her, or I could be the girl in the seat. But it's up to me how I want to view myself. It's up to me how I want to perceive what's happening around me. It's up to me to shift myself, to make myself actually have enjoyable and fun experiences. I think sometimes we forget we die. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I have to say this to myself too. I think sometimes we really get extremely entitled and forget that we can possibly die at any moment. So why are we worried about that? Why are we allowing negative social frames to take a hold of our lives? Why are we only remembering the bad? Why do we only remember the negative remarks and not the compliments we get? Why do we have a hard time remembering if someone said we're beautiful? And this is not an easy process. No one's saying that this is easy. I'm not saying that this is easy. And honestly, argumentatively, I feel like it wasn't your burden to put on. But you have to carry the weight. You have to figure it out for yourself. And once you do it, you're going to come out on the other side so much stronger. Like, no matter what you do, you always will be better than you were yesterday. Point blank period. So this wasn't a concentrated episode about something specific with summer, but this is a summer mindset lock in, because you got to get your ducks in a row for summer. I'm saying this to myself too, business wise, mentally wise, physically wise, health wise. Look at me, bleep the clothes. The clothes are important, and I did the clothes first because it needed to happen. But in all actual reality, you gotta get a hold of your mindset, and you gotta get a hold of these social frames, because those social frames and how you process things, whether it's positive, negative, growth, or with a fixed mindset, they're going to determine where you're going. It's going to literally be the captain of your ship this summer. It's going to literally tell you how your summer's going. And I know you want to have a great summer. I know you want to end this year off strong. I know you want to reach all your goals. So understand that shifting your mind and just making one decision every day to be better, by the end of the year, you're a new person. Give yourself grace, give yourself love, give yourself compassion, give yourself mercy. And just continue to push, because like I said, that was not your burden to take on, but you can't control what households you came from. You can't control your family. You can't control your financial status of what you came into. You can't control the education you had at a young age. You can't control the knowledge that your elders have around you. And the list goes on. You can't control so many things that you were predispositioned to that were like legit out of your hands. Like I'm talking about like legit out of your hands, which then those decisions make you feel like, oh, I have to date him though. I have to be here. I have to do this, or I could just deal with this. It leads you to make those because you had this unasked burden. If y'all are looking on YouTube, I'm holding my hand up. Since you had this unasked burden on your back, that was someone else you turned to your right. First of all, you already looking like the Notre Dame humpback. You just already looking like the Notre Dame humpback just off the rip of the unasked weight on your back, okay? Then you bent already, you're the hunchback. You turn, and you're like, this is so heavy. I can't even think clear, but like, I think that's okay. I think I should deal with that. And that was another weight. Now you're just hanging. Now you just drop to the floor. Your face is on the ground. You can't even look up. Barely could look left, right, because you're so tired. You got all this weight on your back. You can't even look up to see the good news. You can't even look up to see the blessings. You just looking down, feeling like you would never see nothing but the ground. So I want us all to snap up. Just like they said, bend and snap. Okay? I want us all to bend and snap out of our unasked burdens and become the best version of ourselves for summer. It is a job that takes a lot of discipline, takes a lot of consistency, and it takes a lot of love. But I'm so giggly this episode. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. I feel like this is like extremely like this is really bubbly. This is like really how I am a lot of the times. But yeah, bend and snap that weight off. Remember who you are, because when you looking at me, you see a boss, okay? You are that girl. You are that man. You are successful. You are the first millionaire of your family. You are breaking generational curses. You are worthy of unconditional love. You are worthy of someone treating you like an absolute queen, king. You are worthy of having every single one of your desires. This unasked weight on your back from the result of your household and what you were born into, that then contributed to your negative social frames, that then contributes to the decisions you make in this life, don't define you. You can change yourself at any moment. You just gotta want it hard enough. And it's hard. It's hard. Sometimes you relapse. Sometimes you come back. Sometimes you're strong. Sometimes you're high. Sometimes you're low. It really is the ebbs and flows. But the most beautiful thing about it is taking back your power. And I feel like that's just poise. It's just poise. Like taking back your power. You are reclaiming your story. You are reclaiming who you are. You are reclaiming what you're meant to be in this world. And just don't ever forget that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was really giggly. This is literally in real time. So I'm going to have to try to have this uploaded for like 6 or 7. I'm literally looking at my laptop now. And hopefully next week I do have my TED Talk. Please wish me luck, y'all. I got so much to practice. But I do have my TED Talk next week, so we might have another like short episode, or I'm going to try to film something over this weekend. I don't have a mic right now. Don't even get me started with why my professional mic is not working on my laptop, but that's another story for another day. So I'm gonna work with what I got. So y'all just gotta bear with me. But hopefully within the next 2 weeks, I do get myself together. We get to have everything scheduled again. I have so much content for you guys. It's absolutely insane. But I love y'all always. Continue to be the baddest. Continue to bend and snap. Take that weight off your back. And remember, I said, hey from across the room.